Today's class will be focused on introducing the topic of EFL teaching materials and resources. We all know the use of different teaching resources and materials is part of the development of a lesson. The picture you see is illustrating a class for kids in which several resources are being used. Can you mention the ones you identify? As you can see, the class is making use of traditional teaching materials as well as more modern and technological resources. Why should teachers make use of teaching aids in the classroom? Well, the lesson's objectives are set to make a reflection on the general purposes of using visual aids, and I also suspect you could have your own definition of what teaching materials are. Let's start by expressing opinions about some statements made by experts in the teaching field. The class is divided in three sections. The ones on the right are number 1. The ones on the left are number 2. And the ones in the middle are number 3. Read the statements every bubble contains and discuss the idea for 5 minutes. Do you agree or disagree? Be ready to share your opinions and support your ideas to the class. In this slide, you can see some brief definitions of the term teaching aids. Let's read them and find if they have something in common, or if there is a specific aspect these concepts are not including. After that, take some minutes to write the definition of what teaching materials are for you. All concepts given by experts or novice teachers absolutely reveal how necessary teaching aids are in the teaching learning process. The chart in this slide shows some important reasons why we should use them in every lesson. First, they help to reinforce information, not only the one that appears in the course book, but the explanation and examples you are given are contextualized, which facilitates learning. Context makes content more significant for our students. Second, they ensure understanding. Images help students to retain more concepts permanently. Besides that, materials enhance motivation. And there's no doubt that students can learn better when they are motivated. Third, they allow teachers to apply several techniques that help to emphasize the key points of the contents we are developing. Using colors, underlining, or circling words, and capitalization make students focus their attention on those important points. Additionally, by using several types of materials, we can attend the different learning styles we meet in the classroom. When students see, hear, taste, smell, and touch or do things, they develop images and concepts properly. In this way, students internalize ideas and meanings easily. Teaching materials also contribute to reduce the teacher talking time. Students increase their vocabulary so they can express themselves more confidently. Visuals can be used as prompts to stimulate the students' oral and written communication. Finally, it can be mentioned that using teaching resources improves students' participation. This aspect definitely favors the learning process, since the classroom environment becomes more lively and active. To give some support to the information given before, a recent study developed in some public secondary schools in Pakistan has been considered. This information is taken from the document Journal of Education and Practice, Volume 10, Number 19, 2015. You will see some graphs that present important data related to the impact of visual aids in the learning process. The first graph shows that most of the participants, the 70%, agree that visual aids enhance motivation in teachers and students as well. What do you think? Are you in agreement with this statement? The second graph expresses that 60% of the surveyed people consider that visual aids help in clarifying the study contents. Even though most of them agree on that affirmation, there is a 40% who don't agree on this statement. What do you think is the reason why these 40% of the surveyed people have an opposite idea? In the third graph, we can see that 75% find visual aids as a useful tool to increase the students' vocabulary. This data is important to be noticed since increasing vocabulary leads to a competent development of communicative skills in English, which is one of the main goals we want our students to achieve. The fourth graph shows a high percentage of people, 82%, that agree that visual aids allow students to have direct experiences. These circumstances contribute to reach high levels of learning. In general, the analysis of the data presented in this study indicated that the majority of the teachers and students had positive perceptions of the use of visual aids.